Hey everyone! Did you know that even with a hitch lock, all a thief needs to steal your trailer is to attach your frame to the tow shank with some chains, either their chains or your safety chains, and then they can just drive away. And that's why we're going to go over these top 10 tips to not have your travel trailer stolen. Let's do it! Hey, as a reminder, I'm always trying to grow this channel. I love your feedback in the comments. Most importantly, I hope this video earns your subscription. And make sure you comment below with what security tips you think maybe I missed, or ones you think people really should focus on, or any cool products you know out there that you think people should know about to help with their trailers. Together, we can create this great knowledge base in the comment section that will help everybody out with keeping their trailer secure. So you just got yourself a travel trailer. Awesome. But here's the thing. Trailers are a prime target for thieves, and once they're gone, they're usually gone for good. The good news is you can take steps to make sure that yours isn't an easy target. Anything that makes the theft more difficult or time-consuming will discourage criminals. So in this video, we're going to break down the 10 essential steps to keep your travel trailer from getting stolen. Let's dive in with number 1, and that is lock up your hitch. Seriously. The easiest way for a thief to steal your trailer is just to hitch it up and drive away. That's why a good solid hitch lock is always your first line of defense. Now, not all locks are created equal. Cheap locks will be cut off quicker. Basically, an angle grinder can get through almost any kind of lock if you give it enough time. A high-quality, tamper-resistant hitch lock is worth every penny, so making it harder for thieves to hitch up your trailer is key here. Some models have anti-grinding technology. I will tell you this, I have put a couple of different hitch locks on the front of my trailer that I was able to fairly easily pry off with a small crowbar. So I'm not going to endorse any specific products here. Feel free to put in any products you think are good in the comments, but I am going to say that you definitely want to look on the internet to see which ones are easier to defeat than others. Maybe one day I'll do a detailed analysis on locks, but it costs a lot of money to buy all those locks just to try to break them. The next one is safety chains. Like I mentioned in the intro, if you think a hitch lock is enough, you're wrong. Think again. Thieves don't even need to unlock your hitch. They don't need your hitch. Instead, they can just take your safety chains, wrap them around their hitch, and drive off. I mean, it's a little sketchy and not safe, but they just need to get far enough away that they could pry off your hitch lock somewhere else. Now, this is a common trick, especially in rural areas. You see this a lot with sort of construction trailers, things like that. It works best where a thief has time to work and can be kind of loud. Now, of course, the simple trick here is to lock up your safety chains with an additional lock, a nice heavy-duty lock. So that way they're not so easily accessible to a thief. But like I said, they don't need your chains. They can just take a standard chain with a hook, good heavy-duty chain, wrap it around the frame, wrap it up to their shank, and just drive off. At least they can get out of the immediate area. So don't make it easy for them and lock up your safety chains. Now, there are wheel locks. There are ways to basically make your trailer harder to move because you've locked the wheels. So even if they hitch up the trailer, they're not going to go very far if the wheels aren't moving. You can get a very heavy-duty wheel lock that you can clamp on and keep the trailer from rolling. It's sort of like those boots that they put on to immobilize cars for traffic violations. But instead, you're putting one on your trailer. This makes it really hard for them to remove, and if it's set up right, it makes it really hard to remove the lug nuts as well, so they can't just take the wheel off. And of course, cutting through these takes a lot more time. It's going to be louder. So if you're adding this to your arsenal, you've now made it much harder, and it's going to take much longer for a thief to steal your trailer. And this increases its odds. For maximum security, make sure it's bright yellow, and that says this trailer isn't going anywhere. Now, you don't have to use one of those trailer boots necessarily. You can go old school and just get yourself some very heavy-duty hardened steel chain and just chain the wheels together or chain them to a very large object. Maybe you're next to a very large metal fence or something where you can actually just attach that trailer to an immovable object, a portion of a building, something that's not going to move. Now, of course, that's not always convenient for a lot of locations, and it can all be cut. I mean, it's something I should talk about with any of these locks. I remember when I got my EU 3000 generator, and I decided to go to the locksmith and ask him for the strongest chain he possibly had, and we found it. It's very, very thick. I forgot the exact count of it, but it's ridiculously expensive, and it's very hard to cut. But then I said to him, when can I pick it up? He's, oh, you can pick it up tomorrow. I'll I'll cut it off tonight and cut you off the length. And then I thought to myself, well, I'm leaving, like, well, he's able to cut through the chain, so why am I buying a chain that can be cut through? But that's the reality, is all chains can be cut through. All locks can be cut through. These days, you've got some great lithium battery powered tools and grinders that can just chop off all kinds of things that really wasn't available 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So, the idea here again is to add as many things as you can, and adding a chain or locking your wheels together or to a immovable object is just going to enhance the ability for this trailer to not be stolen. Again, check with a locksmith and make sure you're asking for the most hardened chain that you can buy. Don't just walk into Home Depot and point to some chain. You want to get something real good. Go to a locksmith. You can always remove the wheels. No wheels, no theft. Now, in modern travel trailers, this can be a challenge. The way you would have to block off a trailer so that you could take off all the wheels can be a little cumbersome. You'd want to be really careful to do it so you're not bending the frame or bending any parts. But if you look at construction trailers, this is a real common way to keep thefts from happening, is once they bring a construction trailer on site, they jack it up, take the wheels away, and now it makes it really hard to steal. You pretty much can hitch it up and drag that steel across the ground. You're not going to make it very far, let's face it. Technically speaking, this is also a good way to store your RV seasonally if you want to put the effort into properly blocking your trailer on jacks and blocks so that it can have all the wheels removed. But by doing so, you do preserve those tires. You can put them indoors, keep them out of the sun. They stay off the ground. So there are other reasons to do it, but it's a lot of work. So you kind of need to have a reason to do it, or maybe the extra tools and jacks and such to make it an easier task for you than your average person in their average residential driveway. Park it like a pro. Make it hard to steal by where you park it. Now, where you park it can make all the difference. Thieves love trailers that are tucked away in dark corners. Makes it easy for them to work on and steal. Always try to park it in a really well-lit, open area with lots of visibility. In my particular case, where I park it at my storage lot, I'm at a very strategic spot at the end of sort of a row. So I'd say about 200 to 300 degrees around my trailer is completely open and visible from the road, from anywhere in the parking lot, from the security cameras. In fact, we did have some security issues, and a whole bunch of batteries and nearly all the propane tanks were stolen. And although my batteries are tucked away in the trailer, no one's going to steal those. The propane tanks were just fine. They weren't locked up and they weren't stolen. And I think it's partially because it was the most conspicuous trailer in the lot. I have the best spot. I've worked hard to get that spot and I'm keeping it. Another great trick, especially if you're parking this in a driveway or in some kind of parking lot, is to, if you have the ability, if you have a second vehicle, park a vehicle or another trailer in front of the trailer. Just physically blocking that trailer with another vehicle is a huge impediment. So now they not only have to go through figuring out how to steal your trailer, but they're going to figure out how to effectively steal, hotwire, or move that vehicle that's blocking it. So think about putting a vehicle in front or something very large that makes it very difficult for the trailer to get moved without moving that object or vehicle. If your trailer does get stolen, a GPS tracker or an Apple AirTag can be a game changer. There are plenty of options out there, all kinds of products, from battery-powered trackers to hardwire systems that can connect to your trailer power. Some of these trackers even send alerts to you when it moves, and that way, the sooner you can track your vehicle starting to get moved, the sooner that trailer can be recovered and brought back to your possession. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you using different electronic devices out there? Maybe put it in the comments. Of course, be careful about that. You don't want to necessarily be posting all of your personal security choices on the internet. But if there are products you've heard about, maybe you could mention them in the comments. Of course, there's cameras and security devices. Some people will actually wire up their trailer if they're close to Wi-Fi, or they'll actually have security cameras, sort of like Ring cameras and such, right on their doors. This allows you real-time access to see your trailer. But let's face it, if somebody's stealing your trailer and they're going fast, even if you know it's happening, you're going to have to really hustle to call the police or get them down there. These things often help with insurance and proving that it was stolen, or getting a picture maybe of the thieves. But great, now you've got a picture of two dudes in a mask. How does that help you, find your trailer, right? Nonetheless, it's not unwise to have a security system in place with cameras either pointing at your trailer or mounted to your trailer. So again, I'd love to hear what people's experiences are or knowledge they have of security systems that they find people are using successfully. Again, you usually need some kind of Wi-Fi or internet connection for these to work. And use common sense when traveling and parking. When we travel, I know I'm always hard pressed to park and leave my trailer in places that I don't know where I'm leaving it. I go to the most beautiful places on earth, sometimes in the middle of nowhere, and then the next morning when I decide to go out for a day trip, I stare at my trailer and go, do I really want to leave that here in the middle of nowhere with no one around? Alternatively, I'll be driving my trailer through some inner cities sometimes, and again, I'll not only be concerned about where I'm parking my trailer, but I will actually lock all of my storage and trailer doors before I drive through some neighborhoods, just in case somebody kind of sneaks up and pops the door open when I ain't looking, even at a stoplight or something like that. So, use common sense. If you leave your trailer in the middle of nowhere for an extended period of time, there's an increased chance that trailer is going to get stolen. This is why when I went to the Valley of the Gods in Utah, for instance, and I thought about staying there for a couple of days until I looked at my brand new trailer in the middle of the desert from afar and realized, you know what? I'm not going to leave that here. I ended up taking it over to Gooseneck State Park, not very far, and there at least it was parked inside a state park camping area. It was still huge and open, but to get to that area, you had to go through a kiosk that was manned by a person, and so that extra layer of security gave me an extra peace of mind that I wasn't going to get just by parking it in the middle of Bureau of Land Management land and hoping nobody comes and messes with it. So like the Ember sticker says, use common sense. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, no security measure is 100% foolproof. But your goal is to make your trailer as difficult to steal as possible. Thieves are looking for an easy target. Don't let that be you. The best approach is layered security, a combination of locks, barriers, tracking devices, security systems, good best practices, and common sense. The more obstacles you can put in their way, the less they're going to be able to want to try to steal your trailer. I hope this video helped, and I hope this video earns your subscription. Hit that like button, click subscribe. To everyone in the United States, Canada, and around the world, stay safe, happy travels, and don't forget, get busy living. You can click down below to see RVs Gone Wild, and that shows all the crazy RV videos that we find. Over here on the side are some camping videos, including my latest video where I went RVing into the snow. Down in the corner is a series I did when I did go down to Utah, I mentioned in this video. It's one of the most beautiful locations. It was one of my favorite trips I've done with this trailer so far. Check it out. See you, everyone.